5, welcome to another one of my videos. Today we're going to be reading the text about Real Madrid Football Club. So it's in the booklet. Now it might not be on the website because we're going to stop uploading textbooks and the booklet to Google Classroom because most of you have collected them by now. If it's a text you don't have at home, then we will put it on obviously. So if you don't have the booklet, you're going to have to ask a friend to send you a photo of this. So we're reading the text on Real Madrid Football Club. I'm going to read it and go through vocabulary with you. Okay, on the 6th of March 1902, the Madrid Football Club is founded by a group of fans in Madrid, Spain. Later known as Real Madrid, in 1920, that King Alfonso XIII bestowed them with the title of Real, or Royal in English. The club would become the most successful European football soccer franchise in the 20th century. The Bernabeu Stadium has been their home since 1947. Okay, the words I think you might not know in the first paragraph: bestowed. So if you bestow something on somebody, you give them something. Because it's from the king, it has to sound kind of fancy. In brackets it says soccer. They said soccer. In England we say football. In America, what we call football, they call soccer. And their football is the other football with the kind of oval-shaped ball. And the other word you might not know is franchise. So here we're talking about teams as a business, because basically that's what football is these days. So the franchise is the team as part of the business. We also use the word franchise when we're talking about businesses, for example, McDonald's. The person who owns McDonald's in Egypt or the Middle East, he takes all the profits from the restaurants on a day-to-day basis. But he pays McDonald's to use their name, their logo, their products, their the boxes and the bags that the food comes in, that sort of thing. So that's also an example of a franchise. So let's look at the second paragraph. With its trademark blue and white uniforms, originally inspired by those of an English team, Madrid began to make a name for itself in Spain almost right away. From 1905 to 1907, under their first coach, Englishman Arthur Johnson, the team won the Copa del Rey 3 times consecutively. They have won the Copa del Rey 19 times since 1905. They have won La Liga 33 times since their first win in 1932. Trademark, with its trademark blue and white uniforms. So a trademark is something that you are known by. For example, McDonald's has the big yellow M. And I do talk about McDonald's a lot. It's true, I do like McDonald's. It's my favorite takeaway. Okay, so trademark is something that a company is known by. Inspired by those of an English team. If you're inspired by something, it means you've got the idea for something. And consecutively, that means one after another, like back to back. Third paragraph. Real Madrid's legendary status internationally was solidified under the leadership of Santiago Bernabeu Este, who played for the team from 1912 to 1927 and served as club president from 1943 to 1978. Their stadium is named after him. In 1953, Bernabeu began to stock his roster with the best players he could find from around the world, instead of just the best in Spain, beginning with Madrid's most famous soccer icon, Argentine star Alfredo Di Stefano. The resulting team won the European Cup in 1956. They won it an unprecedented 5 times in a row, from 1956 through 1960. In 1960, they won the first edition of the Intercontinental Cup. Bernabeu then switched course in the 1960s and built a team entirely of Spanish players. Okay, so in the first line we have legendary status. Here it just means very special, very famous. Their legendary status, they are one of the best teams, everybody knows about them. Solidified. So their status was solidified. Here it means made stronger. You might come across the word solidify in science. If you've melted something like chocolate or a candle, it goes liquid. Then when it's hot, when it cools, it goes solid again. So we say solidify. So that is the science meaning. Here it means it got stronger, their reputation got stronger. In the third line, Bernabeu began to stock his roster. So the roster is kind of the list of people that work for you. So here it means he filled his team, or he filled his squad with the best players he could get from around the world. Further down, we've got 3 lines from the bottom in that paragraph. They won it an unprecedented 5 times in a row. So unprecedented means never seen before. And in a row, it's one after the other, so year after year after year. In the last line, Bernabeu then switched course. That means he changed direction, so he took a different plan. And in the 1960s, he decided to have his team entirely, that means full, all of Spanish players. Okay, they have won the European Cup, Champions League 13 times, and the UEFA Cup twice, in 1985 and 1986. They won their first Champions League title in 1998. In 2000, soccer's international governing body, FIFA, selected Real Madrid the best football team of the 20th century, and Florentino Perez became the new club president. 2 years later, the club then celebrated its 100-year anniversary with yet another European Club Championship, behind the imported stars Luis Figo of Portugal, Zinedine Zidane of France, Roberto Carlos of Brazil, and Raúl of Spain. Real Madrid has won a record 9 European Championships, 7 Spanish Super Cups, and 3 World Championships. It is one of the few teams that is still owned and operated by its members. Their top goal scorer is Cristiano Ronaldo with 380 goals. So in that paragraph, a governing body, that's the people in charge, the ones who set the rules. And halfway down the paragraph it says the imported stars. So imported means when you bring something from outside. We get imported goods in Egypt, we get things from Europe and America, whatever. Okay. Right, so I think we have enough, we've read it, we've gone over the vocabulary. I think you have enough to answer the questions on the next page. Now, in the questions you have to answer this flow diagram. In each box is a date. You have to go to the text, find that date, and write information about what happened in that year in each box, okay? It is quite a tricky task because there are lots of dates, and you need to read carefully because the answer might not be obvious. You might have to kind of dig around a bit, okay? Look for the date, read the sentence before it, read the sentence after it, make sure you've got the right information. On the screen behind me, there is an example of a flow diagram. Now, in the workbook, there's a flow diagram about the text about Dubai. You didn't have to do that, we didn't ask you to do it, but I did it for you and it's available on Google Classroom, just to show you an idea of what you have to do. So it's just, 1 or 2 sentences in each box, that's all you need to do. Now, I'm going to move to the computer and I've got a few pictures to show you of some of the people that were mentioned in the text and also the Bernabeu Stadium. Okay, so the first picture, that's one of the first teams. We said the team was founded in 1902. So this is one of the very early teams. I'm not sure which year, but it's very early on. And you'll see in a minute, they've got the original logo on their shirts. Can you see it? Okay, and I don't know if they wore the caps when they played, but their equipment is completely different. The ball is probably made from leather or something. Okay. Right, that's one of the early teams. That says 1905. That was the first Copa del Rey. I don't know if it's the same one that they use today. Actually says 1905 on the ball. Okay. I think moustaches must have been in fashion at the time. Everyone's got one look. Okay, that's the Bernabeu Stadium in 1947 it was built. So this looks like, it looks like it's completed. Maybe there's a bit of building work going on here, but this will be about 47, 48 when it first opened. Okay, this is a picture of the logos. So this is the one that you probably know, anybody who follows football. This was the one that we saw on the shirt of the men in the first photo. And this is how the logo has changed throughout the last 100 and something years. And this is the little crown. It's not there for some reason, but it's back on here because we said the king gave them a royal status. This is from 1947 and 48. So this would be when they were in their new stadium. That's Santiago Bernabeu. So he played for them, it says in the text, he played for them 1912 to 1927, and then he was the club president. So, and the stadium is named after him. So he's a very important person at that club. Okay, that's Alfredo Di Stefano. He was mentioned. I think he was the Argentine player. This is some of the club's trophies. 1959 to 1960. This apparently was a very good season for them. There's Bernabeu as an old man. There's the Bernabeu Stadium today. It's in the same location, but I'm sure it's been renovated a lot. You all know Cristiano Ronaldo, the highest scoring goal scorer ever. And this is Zidane, who played for them and is, at the moment, he is their current manager. Okay, so that's all for today. I'll talk to you soon in my next video.